Hello people, it's that time. It's that time again. Welcome. So, welcome everyone to my live stream. Welcome to the channel. My name's Danny C. Let's get down to business, shall we? I hope everyone's doing good, and I hope everyone is well. So let's get straight to it then. So this is round 2 of the GT World Series Manufacturers Cup online qualifiers, and we are at Dragon Trail Gardens. So this is the second round of the online qualifiers of the Gran Turismo World Series. So we go again. I have no idea what to expect. So let's see. And we've got somebody who has joined in the chat to say hello. Indeed, Stig, welcome along, my brother. Thank you for stopping by, and appreciate the good luck message as well. And best luck to you if you are racing this one. And I hope you're doing good as well. So Indian Stig's you guys to go and check out for those who like to go and look at his content on YouTube, as he does Opel lobbies, some daily races, as well as some of the league racing ventures, whether it's anything Gran Turismo World Series related and so on. So Indian Stig's you guys to go and have a look for those who are into that sort of stuff. So, and let's go out to the skates movies. So, and the question of what's happening at Dragon Trail Gardens, will it rain? Well, obviously, I've seen somebody from Australia, from the Oceania area, that obviously there's dry qualifying, and then obviously started off with wet, but then you just never know which way it's going to go. So, so what's going to happen is that there's going to be a 20-lap race at the Grand Layout, 6 minutes qualification. Obviously, you've got the tyre wear that's set to ×5. Fuel consumption rate is set to ×1. So there's no issue with the fuel. Obviously, it's just a tyre wear that you've got to bear in mind also. So obviously, you got the race details itself. Shortcut penalty set to E, so is mechanical damage set to light. Other than that, yeah. Welcome along, Chris. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're well. And for those who are getting to know, well, you'll get to know, and appreciate you stopping by as well, Chris. And so let's have a look. We've got no mandatory pit stops required, so you could just pit whenever, really. So obviously the weather, obviously we don't know which way it's going to go, whether it's going to be dry at the start or even wet. So so let's get a rough idea whilst we get some practice whilst on the go. And as you can see, it's wet. It's wet. So, got myself in the top 5, having been doing some laps on the wet weather tyres for a bit, and then obviously only 1.4 seconds off the fastest time. That is the Argentinian in the Lexus. So you see quite a load of them in the 29s, and then there's 70 of them in the 29s, and then most of them, as you can see, that they're in the 30s. Even I got myself into the 30s. So I'm not going to be dwelling on that. Did I say the ghost replay? Welcome along, Angel. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're well. It should dry up to around approximately on the 30-minute mark for when you're in the lobby. So, but yeah, that's it's one of them things. For some people, there's no stress too much, because obviously another opportunity will come for later on, and what you're about to see, that if you're planning on doing the manufacturers later on, then therefore that you'll see what how the race is evolving and so on. I just want to get the ghost offset from what was 0.4 at one point, and now it's gone to, got it to bang on. So if set the brake balance to 5, and as you can see, it well, looking on the weather radar, it's should take around what is it, like 30 minutes or 40 minutes ish, something like that, for it to dry up. So unfortunately, I had the time to find the time and effort to be sure that I get a good lap in best I can, as a lot of people have been doing it, of course. So I don't know who am I going to be racing against. Maybe somebody familiar, who knows. But for myself, that's well, I just want to be sure that I get a nice meeting from the moment we got some practice on the way to the moment we finish the race, and to get a higher result as best I can. So that is the main objective for sure. So I'm on the intermediates. Have I done a practice lobby from yesterday in somebody's lobby? Obviously one person that is the host gone onto the wets, wanted to go for it for the start, and then pitted around roughly lap 12, lap 13ish, something like that. Gone onto the mediums, because the thing is with the tyre wear, with it being set to ×5, it's the tyre degradation is pretty high. So if you go into the softs pretty early, then you will suffer towards the end. And then the objective is to have the balance in terms of having consistent lap times whilst keeping it on the dry line, whilst the dry line was starting to build up even more. Medium tyres is the one. So there's no mandatory pit stops and no tyre rule involved in this one, which gives everybody the freedom of to go with whatever tyres they feel comfortable with. Whether it's on the wet weather tyres or intermediates. Welcome along, Maburinho. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're well. Appreciate the good luck message, and well done for winning your race earlier. So, end of lap 13. Good window if you want to go soft. Well, this is what I've been debating, of course. Well, just to see the difference. With the difference with the mediums and softs, obviously, as it turned out that you will not have any problems with the mediums, as long as you get them into tyre temperature range as well as that. And for the softs, you'll fire the tyres quickly, but then you'll have to keep going over to the wet part of the track on the straight line, for example, in order to keep the soft tyres cool for as long as you need to, which I'm sure a lot of people will be doing that, or depending who you're racing against. even for when you're trying to get the power out as well without any traction control, then you'll start to start to feel the rear end kicking in also. It's not a bad choice, I don't think, the Ferrari, because it's just there's been a lot of people that have gone with Ferrari simply because of the 296 that's come out a month ago. So obviously there's a lot of competition in terms of getting further up to the leaderboard for as best you can. Yeah, so and this is the thing that each track is different depending on its capabilities, and then you probably see on paper that that majority of the tracks on this online qualifiers calendar that it's like a BMW territory, but I won't even guarantee that because it's not the case. Because you may come across some lobbies that where you may come across a variety of cars and models that are there on the grid. Like, for instance, I came across the one Porsche at Road Atlanta, and there was only that one Porsche it was driven by somebody who I know of, who was in the Porsche at Road Atlanta. So the 5 o'clock slot is open. So best of luck to those who are doing the 5 o'clock slot. Just start with the 296 as well. It's pretty lethal on the curbs, depending how much power you apply and so on. Which I find myself because when you try to ride on the curbs, even the slippery ones, it can bite you. I'm not sure why that I have a replay, unless I've not even saved it myself. But anyhow, it doesn't matter because at least I know my lines in terms of getting a lap together and so on. Quad right-hander is bad for traction. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't blame you. I mean, it depends on how confident you are taking on these curbs, because the last thing you need is to end up fluffing up your lines and then end up going all over the place, if that makes sense. Just too much brake, which left me to have my rear brakes locked a bit. So the next CCC racing round is on Monday, and I'll be streaming from my perspective. And to be very honest with you, I didn't know I could stream from my perspective until I was told by the boss of the racing organisation, and he said that, Danny, are you streaming from your perspective? And I went, I didn't know that I could stream, but can I stream? He went, yeah, of course you can. You can do whatever you want. So, and it was half an hour before the racing organisation went live from their perspective for the commentary. So it was just like very little notice where I have to, just be sure that I get the title and everything all ready. So then you guys can have a look at my race on board for those who want to see how I'm getting on whilst inside the car. Which I thought it's pretty cool, for somebody, especially a league racing organisation, to provide the commentary to see what's happening out on track, and then you get drivers like myself who can stream from their perspective, like I'm streaming from my perspective, and get to see how I'm behaving in the cockpit. Properly into the groove now. Just try and stay off the racing line to the best I can, so I can make good use of the grip that's outside of the racing line. Feels nice and smooth. So I don't want to be burning myself out too much before we get into qualifying and so on. Not at the minute, no. No, because I was more used to running the wet weather conditions in the without any TC on. Sometimes I do, even if it's where it's from a standing start or coming out of the pits. So it just depends depends how I'm feeling really. So, but most of the time I just don't use traction control because I just want to get a bit more feel with the rotation of the car, and so I'm gonna go for a quick toilet break. So I'll be back in 2 secs. And I'm back. I'm back. So it started raining again. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know from your side, Joel. So, does anybody in here want me to sing a song? Anyone? I don't mind. I'm okay, like. I could give it my shot, and that's all I can do. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment all of my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment all of my life. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Anyway, let's get down to business and do the talking on the track. I think that was good what I was doing. So, just give us some energy for what is going to be an interesting race. Not knowing what to expect, so we could have a dry qualify, we could have a wet qualifying, so we could have a wet race throughout, but we don't really know how long can you make those intermediates last. But it just depends what the lobby itself throws at us, if that makes sense. Calm before the storm. So nice and peaceful. What you can hear sounds like the rain noises over the forests and nature. Even when you're fast asleep with the you can hear it with the windows being shut or having the windows slightly open, and then you can hear them sound effects. So, best of luck to those who are taking part in round 2 of the GT World Series Manufacturers Cup. Don't worry about if the race hasn't gone to your plan. Another opportunity will come. So, will I be up against with some familiar people? Who knows? We shall find out right now. No, there's nobody I don't know on here. Obviously raced a couple with from the last Manufacturers Cup race. So how many points do you get for the win? 292. So not quite the 300 if you know what I mean. However, it does give you a chance for something. So the qualifier will begin shortly, and then it's dry. So I just need to remember all the breaker points and everything with the dry run that I did from yesterday. And try and put it together best I can. Let's go. So we've got some that's spawning into the pits after they've done the flying lap. There we go again. Just let these people by who are on the flying lap. Don't rush it. So I kind of know which way it's gonna go. So it's just a case of tidying some bits of the lap. Keeping the tyres all in good condition as well as that. Let's go. Last push. Let's put it together. Whoa. Don't know whether that's put me off just a little bit, but somehow managed to go through that ghost. Let's go. Push, push. What's it going to be? 31.7, so that puts me 6. So it's better than my first attempt, so let's see what everybody else is on with. So there's just a couple of people left to finish their lap. Right, time to get busy, as we've got some studying to do with the weather. So to be safe than sorry, go on the inters, see if that's the correct choice. Got the inters on. Copy, Joel. As you can see, it's raining at this time. Some say it's, they want to go for wets because there'll be some that's going for wets and some going for inters. So we will see. Anyhow, let's play the music. Let's get down to business and do the talking on the track. Let's do it for McLaren. Good luck, everyone. Let's do this. Yep. Understood, Joel. You see everyone revving their engines out. So I'm number 2. Vin Diesel. I like some of the nicknames. Here we go. So this is the heavy rain, which shouldn't last long. Oh, somebody had a spinner there. Somebody's gone well wide. So the dry line is starting to form up. And we're all just getting quicker and quicker. Just need to keep the tyres as cool as possible and to be in it for the long run. Then it started to rain once more. So to have the gripper for the long run, having been keeping the tyres as cool as possible on the wet stuff, should play crucial. Here we go. yellow flags. Something's happened. I'm not sure what. I did see the yellow flag wave. It's blue flag, so somebody's had a moment. Yeah. Whoa! Get it, stop. Stopped raining now. Battle for P2's heated up nicely, and then we've got the French driver Sportland running away with it. had a slide there, the Ferrari. Somebody's coming in, being one of the first to pit for fresh fermenters. I might do the 7 o'clock slot, but we'll see how it goes as the results go along. Might be time to go to the medium tyres. Because the Austrian drivers pit first. As the field is spreading out a bit more. Yellow flag, something's happened. Sensible choice, I reckon. Because if the Australian pitted first, then that means that others have to pit ASAP. Right. Somebody's had enough. That's one of the leaders. One of the leaders has spun out as soon as they pitted for dry tyres. So I just need to survive this adventure. The first lap on dry tyres. Or two, depending how quickly this dry line keeps showing up. So, and that should get me to the end. Copy. So we should be able to benefit from those who are just pitted. Let's go. Racer made a mistake. It's DDC time, Bobby. Let's go. Yep. A podium's on the cards. A podium is on the cards. And we are in the top 3. It's Danny C time with the fastest lap. The BMW's all over the place. Let's go. We're up into P2. Next up, Alteration, the one who pitted 1 lap earlier than me. Oh, I felt a nudge there from behind. But we're still going. Let's see what I can do from there. Hang on a minute. Am I seeing something? Am I seeing something? Is this like, surely that there's no mandatory pit stop rule for different tyre compounds? BMW is making mistakes, and this is it. That I just need to bring it home. Copy, Joel. So the BMW is making more mistakes now, so I just need to keep the consistency together. I'm thinking same, Joel. I'm not sure why he pitted twice. Perhaps he didn't study with the fact that there's no mandatory pit stops. Unless he just wants to go for fastest lap or so on, which you don't get any benefits from getting the fastest lap, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Well, from what I can remember, Note came up as a required tyre changer for what I'm going to change for the dry tyres. But yeah, it's what kind of call is that? It's just you cannot even write it. Anyway, we're keeping everything pointed in the right direction best we can, and that's the objective for the last remaining 3 laps after this one. Just need to keep the tyres as cool as possible without going further into the wet stuff, because otherwise I'll slip off. Splashing through the puddles. Got 2 laps to go. .3 seconds. He's really pushing, but just need to bring it home in one piece. Track's getting drier and drier. Lead me to it. Last lap. around the final couple of corners, and it's Danny C who takes the Manufacturers' Cup race win for McLaren. Get in there, Danny! Let's go! Let's go! It's Danny C time, man! Let's go! Yo! Yo! We done it! We done it for McLaren! We done it! Oh my goodness! Kept everything pointing in the right direction. I've lost some and gained some, and when it mattered, I got the job done as I came out on top. Let's go! It's Danny C time. Well done, everyone. Great things do happen, mate. Great things do happen. Thank you, Joel. Thank you. I had to feel for Auto Radiation, the Austrian, because it looked like the winner was his, but just don't get why that he had to come in there for a new set of tyres, going from the mediums to soft. Probably thought it's a mandatory stop for required tyres, but nah, not the case. Clean race bonus. There we go. Grab the replays if you want them. So I'm just going to put the message. Whew. And thanks for keeping me on my feet. I've enjoyed myself. So what does that get us? 292. I'll take that for today. Thank you very much. So we've got the Fernando Alonso lover who's finished third in the Aston. So, well, what a race. I've enjoyed myself. Having kept everything on my feet best I can, and I pitted one lap later than the rival who pitted was the first to pit for dry tyres. So I'm pleased with that. So we'll have a look at the replay, shall we? So I've won the Manufacturers' Cup race in the Porsche, and this time I've done it in a McLaren, which comes to show us that anything is possible, do you know what I mean? So let's have a look at the replay. So I just want to see what is happening from that side. So it was just as soon as it started raining, then obviously everyone was just jostling for position, and the desperation were kicking in, and there's some there that one doesn't have a traction control on. This one does. This one don't. This one does. This one don't. This one don't. This one does. Don't. Does. Don't. So anyone's preference, innit? So I was lucky to go for the move after a bit of an optimistic mode, but then the Suzuki and the Corvette were going side by side, and then the Suzuki were just like, you know what? I'll go there first, drive around the outside of you, and yeah. So I was doing everything I can to keep everything tiptoeing and so, but then it was just, and that point there, I was just ahead on the apex of the chicane. And then I just thought, I'll just stick it around the outside, which led to going to the inside, and I've kept everything, yeah, so over that sausage curve, that killed the momentum off just a touch. So having to keep it around the outside to the best I can, which led me to go into the onto the slippery curbs, and there you have a Porsche that was still there, kept it around the outside in order to get more momentum. And there's a spin there from the Corvette. What has happened to the Corvette? Oh, just lost it on his own. Oh no, lost it on his own whilst picking up the throttle. Unlucky buddy. So what I'm keen to know as well, was that a bit of an optimistic move going into the hairpin, or was it just the other person well playing with the brakes just to try and let the car roll a little bit? So just looking there from that perspective, and so yeah, it was just ahead, and obviously I was there as well. So just go into walk mode. So it's just the minimal margins is all it takes. Obviously, by the time I got into the apex, I'd gone into the inside of the curb, which led to unsettle the car just a little touch. And obviously, it was that moment where the Aston will turn in quite a bit early. But luckily, they're just it's one of them things where it's just yeah. Should I have given the place back? But let me know what you think, because it's just one of those things that even in wet weather conditions, that obviously yeah, maybe the yeah, to be fair, in my opinion, the Aston had the line, which obviously, yeah. Welcome along, Stiggy Moss Racing. Thank you for tuning in. I've just done my Manufacturers Cup race, Stiggy Moss. So I don't need to go again, having got a result. So I'm just looking to see what was going off as well. But yeah, thank you very much, Mabrinio. Thank you, and I appreciate it a lot. Hope to see you again soon. But in the end, that Alonso went on to get a result as well. So it's like, well, stuff like that happens, and then and luckily that as from my side and as from his side, that everything was pointed in the right direction. As soon as I started to see the dry line forming up, therefore that the dry line was starting to build up pretty quickly. So I was starting to get into the wet weather, get the wet patches to keep the intermediates cool, and so was everyone else, well, sort of. So these two were battling for the for 5th place, for example. I placed my car into a very good position, get the traction out, and so it's just this. What if the Ferrari driver didn't realise I was there, and I was there, and then for good measure that I had to give way. Although that he sent one in the inside, so there was yellow flags that were kicking off somewhere, but God knows. Spin Diesel. What has happened to Spin Diesel? Let's have a look, shall we? So Spin Diesel is obviously spinning his way out of the race with hardly any stopping power over the just locked the brakes up and smashed into the wall. So not quite a spin as you would have thought. So the Suzuki, of course, so I was looking to go for the move, but then the door was shut. So I tried to hang it out around the outside, but then do a switchback if I can. And then it was difficult for a couple of Ferrari drivers to get the traction out with the amount of torque that they got on these racing cars, especially with the turbo they got in the 296. So just waiting around till what is it? End of lap 10. Alteration. Pit was the first to pit for dry tyres. And then there's Lovely. Adrian also pitted for dry tyres. So No Forgot was on the racing mediums. Spin Diesel was obviously on the racing mediums. Oh no, racing softs. Them racing softs won't last because of how much tyre deg there is on these vehicles. So what has happened to the Audi driver? The Audi driver was just sliding all over the place and sliding into the Armco barrier, which is the last thing you need. So a wounded pit bull there. So the BMW was obviously what's happened to the Toyota? So the Toyota was leading by quite some margin, yeah? The Toyota was leading by quite some margin, and all of a sudden overshot it on the brakes and smashed into the wall. That has changed the dynamic of the motor race, which led to the Polish driver Falk, who was taking the lead just as soon as they're about to come into the pits. And what I had to do is that I saw them two coming. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take the opportunity no matter what happens, and therefore I took the opportunity pretty well indeed. So I came to around a Toyota driver, Nicholas was racing out with traction control. Couldn't quite keep it on the track because of the hesitation that he had with the BMW, and therefore that led him to spin out of the race and out of contention of the race win. So yeah, that's literally put the Toyota out of contention, that's for sure. I'm very fortunate to see what happened there. Yeah, so he just went deep and lost it on the... Oh, very unfortunate to see what happened there. So we should have the top 4 who are on Inters coming in at the end of this lap, because as you can see, the intermediates were worn out, mostly on the front right and obviously the fronts. So we moved up a couple of positions, and then out comes the Ferrari. So the Ferrari misjudged the brakes a little bit and gone a bit too deep, which left me the opportunity to make an overtake happen. So in that case, I was setting the fastest lap at the time. So we had the BMW who was literally well, just keeping everything in right direction best we can. And I was literally all over the Polish driver. Well, I was going purple in that sector, and I had to brake just a little bit early, and then he touched the wet patches, and then which led him to go wide, and therefore going into the wide area, as of the wet patches not get as much traction as the Polish driver would have liked, which led me to gain P2 on the road. So it came to the point where I realised that there's an opportunity where I could get a result. And you see, this Audi had 1 lap older tyres than I did, and not to forget that the Audi driver was the first to pit, along with a few others who pitted behind him. And what gets me is, why come in when you look on the rule book for this particular race that there's no required tyre types involved in this one? I just don't get it. Unless the individual themselves does not read the bits and pieces, which left him dropping down from the tall order. What was it, 8th place, and it's very slow to come out of the pits anyway. So, and I was like, what am I witnessing? I could do this. I could win this, but it was not over till it's over. So for the rest of the time, I've just been building in consistent laps time and time again, having kept everything pointed in the right direction from start to finish. And as you can see, Mr. Alonso, of course, and the Aston was hunting down the BMW towards the end. So therefore, that the strategy played to a real good factor also. So yeah. So a lot of things I've been thinking in many ways. Having had a crack at the Manufacturers' Cup, a couple of years ago, for instance, started with Porsche when I was on the controller, and therefore I was able to get the results out of myself and the car. I felt good underneath me from when I was using the controller, and having got a win or two for Porsche, which does give me something to experience with the fact that anything's possible. And it was back when the Porsche was the car to use from many updates ago. And then of course you have myself in 2026 in the McLaren on the wheel, where I've kept everything pointed in the right direction to the best I can from start to finish, The BMW was all over me. Even the BMW had traction control on also. And when I saw the light in the end of the tunnel, I entered the light as I took the race win in the GT World Series Manufacturers Cup online qualifiers. And it was the day when I shouted, "Get in there, Danny!" It's Danny C time. We did it. We got there in the end. Even the BMW was literally burning its tyres out a lot. So was the Aston. But the McLarens are pretty kind on tyres and fuel, so I have no issues with using the car because it's a steady race car. Obviously, with the fact that I've got a lot of attributions together to be sure that I get the best out of myself and the car underneath me, of course, depending what lobby I get put in. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. And look how dead the right rear tyre, the Ferrari is. Holy crap. And so was the German with the front right tyre, racing softs. That's literally killed the grip off. The Audi on the right hand side. So there you have it. There you have it. So I'm going to open the daily tickets, of course. So yeah. A 5-star roulette ticket. That's because I was doing the one daily race from very early hours of the morning, and then just yet to open a couple of more of those daily tickets. So you get a Volkswagen Scirocco GR4. I've got that car already. A 4-star roulette ticket. Bugatti Chiron 16. Not a bad colour combo in my opinion. And then we have coins. So so that is the stream done and dusted for the GT World Series Manufacturers Cup, and started 6th place in the dry qualifying. And when we got the strategy together to the best we can, having kept it everything pointed in the right direction, I came out as the winner, which led me to get the first win for McLaren. And that's something that the likes of Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri have been able to do in the 2025 season, when the McLaren was just like wicked. So obviously it started off as wet, and then of course when it got to dry, then I sensed an opportunity just to be sure that I just keep everything like pointed in the right direction, getting the job done when it mattered, no matter how fast I'm going. Then therefore that I've got 292 points. So I'll take that. So next time I'll be live is on Monday for what is round 2 of the CC Sim Racing Renault Clio Cup. As I think it went from the top of my head, but we'll be over at Monza for race 1 and race 2 at Magyar. So be sure to tune in to watch my perspective, or for those who like to watch the commentary as well, and go and check out CC Sim Racing on across all the social media platforms, especially YouTube and whatever. So other than that, that's very much what I've got lined up. I also got to for open lobbies on Tuesdays. I also have got I've also got GR1 for the next open lobbies on Tuesday evening. Looking between 6:15 or 6:30 UK time for the GR1s, and then we'll go from there. Then obviously a couple of more Manufacturers Cup races as well, especially Wednesday and Saturday as well. So yeah, if anybody liking the content and what I'm doing, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate your time and efforts and your support, and as we've got the race win on their belts. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you to those who have been tuning in to say hello while on the go. Other than that, that's very much it for this evening. So I'm going to have to cut short, and have a great weekend, whatever you guys are up to, whatever you could be doing. So have a great evening, great afternoon, great morning, wherever you are, whatever you're up to. And other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. So I'll catch you all on Monday for the next league race adventure. Of course, for what is round 2 of the Clio Cups, and we go again. All the best, everyone. And for myself, Danny C, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, all. Bye bye.